Hi, John Morgan here, and welcome to this week's episode of Bob's Live, our weekly show right here on the internet. And, well, this week I have a little bit different of an episode. I guess you could say it's kind of themed, because later on we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings. And you might have noticed a little question pop-up card of what is your favorite Lord of the Rings character? So over in the comments, let me know who your favorite character is, and I'll take a look at that here in a little bit. So, before I get into that section, I wanted to kind of do a follow-up to last week's episode. Last week we had an interview with Diane Blazik, who is the executive director of the National Garden Bureau. And they are literally the people who wrote the book on Victory Gardens. And this week, I have the full interview. So on the Bob's Live episode, we only did a segment of the interview. But just yesterday on our podcast, so it's the Keep Growing podcast, I posted the full-length interview. So if you listen to podcasts, give us a search on your favorite podcast platform, or you can head over to our website at bobsmarket.com/keepgrowing and listen to the episode there in the built-in player that we have on the website. So over there, we've got the full-length interview, and we kind of go into more in-depth about how to plan a victory garden and how to plan out your garden in general, because there's some important things that you need to consider whenever you start a vegetable garden, like your growing zone and when your last frost date is. Which for us, thankfully here in the Ohio Valley, we are pretty much done with frost for the year. Fingers crossed. We've had some pretty crazy weather this spring. But also, I'm getting tongue-tied. What does your family like to eat? That's another important question that you have to ask when it comes to planting a vegetable garden. I always like the example of zucchini. You plant one zucchini plant, you're going to have a ton of extra zucchini because they're just that prolific. And it seems like you always have zucchini coming out your ears if you plant zucchini. Head over to bobsmarket.com/keepgrowing and check out the latest podcast episode there. And we release podcast episodes every other week throughout the summertime. So also, right now at Bob's, we have, that's covering up my head, our Mother's Day sale going on. So this year, it's a little bit interesting with the coronavirus stuff. And normally we just have our Mother's Day sale for 3 days. But because of trying to limit crowds in our stores, we've extended it out to 3 weeks. So, right now, through May 26th, we're having our Mother's Day sale. And right now you can get flats or 10-inch hanging baskets at 2 for $30. They're normally $16.99 each. And then also we have 14-inch deco pots at 2 for $59.99. And they normally run $39.99 each. So that's a great deal. And with the deco pots, you also get a container that you can use year after year. In fact, the video that we have coming up here with the Lord of the Rings garden, I didn't put it in the video because it wasn't relevant to what we were planting, but I planted up a couple deco pots that I had from previous years. So those make a great reusable option if you want to go that route. And they make a great decorative piece. And if you get two, one on either side of your front door, it's just beautiful. So, um, moving on, as I said at the beginning, and I wanted to know what your favorite Lord of the Rings characters are. And that is because this weekend I planted the flower bed in front of my house and I went with a Lord of the Rings theme. So, let's dig into that, and I think you'll kind of find it kind of interesting. So, well, here we go. Alright, today we're here in front of my house where I have a couple built-in flower beds. Built into the stone and brickwork here in front of my house. And this fall I planted pansies. And where the weather's starting to get warm, they're looking a little worse for the wear. They're starting to get leggy, and the blooms are just kind of starting to go, bleh. Well, I thought it would be awesome to kind of do a themed flower bed this year. So I'm going with Lord of the Rings. Now you might be saying, Lord of the Rings, what? Okay, stick with me. I have Wizard Mix Coleus and Super Elfin Impatiens. Now this bed, it faces north, so it mostly stays in the shade during the day. So Impatiens and Coleus work great here. And I've done this mix in the past and it's worked well. But when I was picking out plants, I just couldn't help but go with the obvious Lord of the Rings choice of wizards and elves. So this year we're taking the ring back to Mordor. And yeah, well, here we go. When it comes to removing the old plants, it's just a matter of yanking them out. And I've got the trailer here behind me on the riding lawnmower to chuck them into, and then they're going to head off to the compost pile. So you can see the nice root ball that developed on these. And what I like to do is give them a little shake. That'll knock some of the dirt loose. So now it's time to space these out and plant them. And the way I like to plant these is the last time that I did Coleus and Impatiens in this bed, I did Coleus in the back and then Impatiens in the front. And that's because the Coleus, they tend to get tall. They'll get about a foot and a half tall. And the Impatiens tend to stay close to the ground and kind of spread out. And they'll actually kind of grow up into the Coleus, and it makes a really interesting mix. So I know there's 4 plants each per pack. So what I'll do is I'll just go down through and kind of space them out, and then I'll come back and pop them out of the packs and plant them. And it's really that simple. With the soil in this bed where it's potting mix, I really don't even need to dig holes. I'm just kind of grabbing it, kind of working my hand back and forth, and that is just plenty.
What? What is this? Ha! It's my precious! Okay.
Alright, so there you have it. A Lord of the Rings themed flower bed. We'll check back on it this summer and see how it turns out. And well, that's all that I have for this week. So until next time, keep growing. And wait.
Look, it's my precious.
You're still watching? I'm done. Well, since you're still here, head over to bobsmarket.com and check out our website. We've got some really cool stuff over there, like the Keep Growing podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, smash that notification bell, and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.